You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that reveals facts, truth, research, and statistics and never messes around. We lay down the entire truth about everything regarding your Detroit and Michigan sports teams, no matter if it's good or bad. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at MichiganSportsTruth.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_Truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
And the postgame edition for Tuesday, May 8th, 2018 is now in session. Taylor Phillips and Louis Tenore. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Tigers beat the Rangers 7-4. They jump out to a 5-0 lead early on and light up Mike Minor. While Mike Fiers, tonight's starting pitcher for Detroit, pitched decently in 5 1/3 innings, only giving up 2 earned runs. And the bullpen almost blew it, but Shane Green got a 4-out save. Now 4 of 6 in save opportunities with 3 or more outs. Has 7 saves total this season. Next game, 2:05 on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Then the Tigers have off, and then they return home to Comerica Park and play the Seattle Mariners. Right now, the Tigers are 2 games back in the AL Comedy Central standings, which is still led by the 17-18 Cleveland Indians. Wow. A team below 500 is leading a division. Not the first time, but man, it really happens. Minnesota Twins 15-17 in second place. They beat the Cardinals again 7-1. Indians just lost to the Brewers 3-2 at Miller Park. The Kansas City Royals rail the Baltimore Orioles 15-7. They jumped out to a 14-1 lead. They led 15-3, 15-2, something like that. 15-3 the last time I saw it from Schlasser at Urinating Tree. The White Sox still stuck in the single digits in the winning column at 9-23, losing, or should I say, they're home against the Pittsburgh Pirates right now, and they're losing in the top of the 8th, 9-5 at Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side of Chicago. That's the AL Central watch. The Lions, transitioning to the Lions here.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
The Lions were sued, according to Kirkland Crawford of the Detroit Free Press. The Lions sued by 2 former employees claiming race and age discrimination. 2 former Detroit Lions employees have filed a lawsuit against the team claiming racial and age discrimination, ultimately led to them getting fired. In a suit filed in Wayne County Circuit Court, Michael Richardson and Robert Yanagi have filed suit against the Lions and the NFL, saying they were terminated in January, quote-unquote, without justification. The Free Press reached out to the Lions organization for comment, but the team had not responded as of midday Tuesday. That's today. The lawsuit says that Richardson, a 52-year-old African-American, and Yanagi, a 58-year-old man of Japanese descent, were the team's assistant video director and video operations director. The plaintiffs claimed that when Bob Quinn took over as general manager of the Lions in January 2016, Quinn met with Richardson and criticized his work. On December 10, 2017, Richardson suffered a shoulder injury at work and filed a workers' compensation claim according to the lawsuit. 9 days later, Richardson filed a complaint to the team's Human Resources Department over, quote, racist comments by an employee in the Detroit Lions scouting department and disparate treatment by an employee in the Detroit Lions team operations department, according to the lawsuit. The file also states Yanagi asked this same employee in the scouting department to stop joking about race. Any joke about race is still offensive, still too offensive, may I add. Later in the month, Richardson met with Quinn, who, according to the suit, quote, acknowledged Richardson's complaint of race discrimination, but then, quote, unquote, raised concern about Richardson's work performance, unquote. The suit states that Richardson's work evaluation score given to Quinn was 2.8 out of 5, with one of the employees Richardson complained about giving him a score of 1 in every category. Man, that is harsh. Yanagi also reported to Human Resources that Quinn treated him differently because of his race, and therefore he was concerned about losing his job, unquote. The filing says both Richardson and Yanagi were fired in January. The lawsuit claims Richardson was fired because of his age, race, and or in retaliation for his workers' compensation claim and or complaint about race discrimination, unquote, and Yanagi for age, race, his complaint, or for supporting Richardson. It is not clear when the lawsuit was filed. The attorneys for Richardson and Yanagi requested an April 5th jury trial. So now we have learned the Detroit Free Press has revealed that Bob Quinn is a racist. And that's what we've learned for tonight. That's what I've learned today. Bob Quinn and the Lions organization are a bunch of racists. Yikes. So, there's your clarity. And that's all the truth I have for tonight. Now it's time for Louis Tenore's National Sports Report. Louis, take it away.
You got it. All right, we'll start on the diamond, as usual. And we read like this. Well, the biggest rivalry in baseball gets renewed tonight between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And the Yankees pull it out with a 3-2 win over the Dead Sox. 3-2. Robertson got the win. Hembry got the loss, and Chapman got the save. Tigers over the Rangers, 7-4. Rays got the win. Minor got the loss, and Green got the save. That's Green, not Gren. Cubs edged the Marlins 4-3. Edwards Jr. got the win. Baccaro got the loss, and Morrow got the save. Top 8, Pirates lead the White Sox 9-5. Soria got his pitching, and Dickerson is at bat. The Rockies over the Angels 4-2. Gray got the win. Penny got the loss, and Davis got the save.
This just in, the Tigers placed outfielder Leonis Martin on the 10-day DL with a hamstring strain.
Yeah.
Like Miguel Cabrera, right?
Gruesome.
Yep.
That's baseball for you. Okay, bottom of the 5th, Astros are leading the Athletics 3-2. There's runners on first and second, 2 out. McCullers Jr. is pitching, and Lowry is at bat. Top 5, D-backs are leading the Dodgers 5-2 with a runner first and one out. Turgos is pitching and Marti is at bat. Bottom six, Nationals lead the Padres 2-0. One out, nobody on. Helkerson is pitching and Margot is batting, and there's a no-hitter in the works. Hey, we already have one so far tonight. Why not? I'll explain more in a minute. Twins over the Cardinals 7-1. Oduzi got the win, and Martinez got the loss, and that was a day game, by the way. Royals over the Orioles 15-7. Duffy got the win. Bundy got the loss. The Phillies double up the Giants 4-2. Nola got the win. Holland got the loss, and Knurles got the save. And that no-hitter, as I mentioning, the Mariners blanked the Blue Jays 5-0. Paxton got the win with a no-hitter, and Stroman got the loss. Paxton was the pitcher who struck out 16 batters last week and still lost the game. Well, this is a nice revenge. The Reds beat the Mets 7-2. Oh boy, now we know that the Mets are in trouble. Castillo got the win, Vargas got the loss. You lost to the Cubs. I mean the Reds. I can't believe it. Braves edged the Rays in a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, 1-0. Newcomb got the win, Sneal got the loss, and Vizcaino got the save. And Brewers edged the Indians 3-2. Suter got the win, Kluber got the loss, and Hader got the save. All right, so now let's check the standings, and they read like this. And now it's going to get really interesting in the American League East. Ooh, I love it. All right, with that, I still think Boston is a half-game lead if my calculation. No, at this now, the Yankees have now pulled in first place with a 25-10 record. Actually, they're tied with Boston. Oh boy.
Well, they're getting there. Yeah, they got to
they're
first
tied
place
with Boston.
either way.
Each at 25-10.
Just not
Blue
full
Jays,
possession.
6.5 back at 19-17. The Rays 15-18, 9 back, and the Orioles in the basement at 17 back at 8-27. Good grief. In the AL Comedy Central, as we call it, oh boy, this is awful. The Indians are in first place at 17-18, and a half-game lead over the Twins at 15-17. Tigers are 2 back at 15-20. The Royals are 5 back at 12-23. And the White Sox are 6.5 back at 9-23. Weak. All right. On the more positive side, the West, the Angels are 21-14, and the Astros are 22-15. But the Angels get the first place by percentage points, 600-595. Not that far behind the Mariners at 20-14, just a half game back. Athletics 3 back, 18-17, and the Rangers 8.5 back at 14-24. Oh well. All right, on to the National League. Braves are 20-14, have a half-game lead over the Phillies at 20-15. The Mets are in third at 18-16, 2 back. Also 2 back are the Nationals at 19-17, and the Fish, a.k.a. the Marlins, 13-22, 7.5 back. All right. In the Central, the Cardinals are 20-14, and the Brewers are 21-15. It's a virtual tie, but the Cardinals lead the Brewers by 5 percentage points, 5-8, 5-3. Cubs are 18-15, a game and a half back. Pirates are also a game and a half back at 19-16, and the Reds, despite that win, are only 9-27 at 12 back. Ugh. Sickening. All right. Diamondbacks lead the West at 23-11. The Rockies are 3 back at 21-15. The Giants are 19-17, 5 back. Dodgers 15-19, 8 back. And the Padres 11 back at 13-23. All right, so let's check the schedule for tomorrow's games. Or May 9th. Oh boy. All right, and the schedule reads this way. Leading off, the Mets will take on the Reds at 12:35. That's an early game, all right. The Indians will face the Brewers at 1:10. At 2:05, the Tigers will take on the Rangers. 2:10. The Pirates will take on the White Sox. At 2:20, the Marlins will take on the Cubs. 3:10, the Angels take on the Rockies. 3:35, the Astros take on the Athletics. 7 o'clock, it's round 2 as the Red Sox will face the Yankees. 7:05, the Royals will take on the Orioles. Also 7:05 are the Giants taking on the Phillies. At 7:07, the Mariners take on the Blue Jays. Your 7:10 games are the Braves taking on the Rays. There's only one game. Okay. 9:10, the Nationals take on the Padres. At 10:10, the D-backs will take on the Dodgers. All right, there's no NHL action tomorrow. The next game will be on Thursday as the Predators will take on the Jets in Game 7. Winner take all. But I do have some hockey news to mention, but I'll get to that in a little bit as we go to the NBA. 2 games on the schedule. The Rockets beat the Jazz 112-102. Donovan Mitchell, 24 points, 9 assists and 4 rebounds, not bad for a losing effort. And Chris Paul, 41 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. The Rockets take the series 4-1. A good effort, though, by the Jazz, nonetheless. And Donovan Mitchell, very good Rookie of the Year.
That's the draft pick the Pistons should have taken instead of Luke Kennard.
Oh, dear. And right now, at the half, the Warriors lead the Pelicans 59-56. Anthony Davis now has 18 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block. Klay Thompson has 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. All right, so now we'll take a look at the schedule. Assuming there is a game tomorrow, I'm going to double check on that. We'll check on the schedule here.
This is the post-game edition.
The 76ers will take on the Celtics tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on TNT. So we got that all straightened out. All right, so now let's get to the news headlines of the day. First up, a disturbing story concerning Mark Ingram. The New Orleans Saints running back has been suspended 4 games for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing drugs. Ingram will miss games against the Bucs, the Browns, the Falcons, and the Giants. He will be eligible to return to the Saints' active roster on Monday, October 1st, meaning he will miss the first 4 games of the season. Ingram will be eligible to participate, though, in all off-season practices and preseason games. The veteran running back is scheduled to earn a base salary of $4 million in the final year of his contract, meaning he will forfeit nearly $1 million and possibly more in bonus money by missing the 4 games. The suspension could prove to be even more costly if it was angling for a lucrative contract extension before the season kicked off. Like I say, it serves you right. In the meantime, second-year pro Alvin Kamara will take on an even bigger role in the Saints' offense after being named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ingram and Kamara made league history last season by becoming the first backfield teammates to each to pass 1,500 yards from scrimmage. Ingram made his second Pro Bowl by running for a career-high 1,124 yards and 12 touchdowns. And he also caught 58 passes for 416 yards. Not too shabby. Karma took on a slightly larger share of the workload down the stretch last season, which could remain the norm even when Ingram returns. However, it was expected to remain the AB situation after that worked out so well last year for the NFC South champion. It is unclear who will be next in line in the Saints' backfield after Karma. Last year, undrafted rookie Terry Edmonds made the roster as a special teams player and also carried the ball 9 times for 48 yards and a touchdown. The Saints also have a more experienced backup by the name of Jonathan Williams on the roster. And they just drafted Louisiana Tech's Ryan Scott in the 6th round, so that competition will be worth monitoring this summer. The completion will be worth monitoring this summer. So it looks pretty interesting. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. I know I will. All right, the Charlotte Hornets are closing on a deal to hire Spurs assistant James Orengo as head coach of as the head coach. League sources told ESPN today. A formal agreement was expected to be reached today. He met with team owner Michael Jordan. Yes, the Michael Jordan, advancing a final group of interviews with Celtics assistant Jay Lagarnia. He will replace Steve Clifford, who was dismissed after having back-to-back seasons of 36 and 46. Well, when you're back-to-back losing seasons like that, chances are you are going to lose your job. Well, that's all I can say about that. Former NFL football player and bust, of course, Johnny Manziel, was sent to the hospital yesterday for a bad reaction to a prescription medication. On Instagram, Manziel posted thank yous for the concern and kind messages. Manziel receives medication to treat his bipolar disorder. He had received increased dosage of lithium and said it was a scary moment, but he was grateful for the staff at the hospital for all they did to him in the last 24 hours. He's trying a career in the Canadian Football League at last check, but we haven't heard anything so far. All right, Blue Jays closer Roberto Osuna was charged and arrested this morning on assault of a woman, according to the Toronto police. The police reported to the Associated Press that the charge is for one count of assault, but provided no other details. The police report states that Osuna, who was released from custody, is due in court now on June 18th. Cavaliers star Rodney Hood apologized to general manager Kobe Alpin today for declining to enter the game when his number was called late in the blowout win against the Raptors last night. Team source told ESPN. Hood said he feels awful, according to a source, and says he will apologize to the teammates and coaching staff in person as soon as they return for a few days off from a 4-game sweep. The Raptors of the Eastern Conference semis. As first reported by the Athletic, Hood refused to check in at 7:38 to go in the fourth when the Cavaliers coach Tyronn Lue attempted to sub him during a timeout in the fourth quarter. The game was out of reach anyway. It was by 30 points, so it really didn't make much of a difference. While the Atlantic reported that his teammates were ticked off by his decision and the organization could consider suspending him, a team source told ESPN today that suspending Hood is not even a thought. Hood was acquired by the Jazz back in February when the Cavaliers were revamping their lineup in a series of trades. Hood will be a restricted free agent this summer, has a major incentive to perform well this postseason. However, his performance in the postseason has not helped in boosting his value on the open market. That's odd. All right. Former 49ers linebacker Reuben Foster today entered a plea of not guilty to 3 felony charges, including domestic violence, stemming from an incident involving his former girlfriend back on February the 11th. A preliminary trial is set for May 17th. Another hearing is set for this Friday. In Foster's case, it relates to a subpoena for evidence. Foster is facing charges of domestic violence, forcefully attempting to prevent a victim from reporting a crime, and possessing an assault weapon, all which are classified as felonies. The charges were filed on April 12th at the Santa Clara County's District Attorney's Office. Initial accounts of the events February 11th alleged Foster dragged his former girlfriend by her hair, punched her in the head about 8 to 10 times, and physically removed her from the house. From there, the District Attorney's Office said that in his flag down a passing car outside a Los Gatos home, her injuries included a ruptured eardrum that required her to go to the hospital. This guy has got some serious major problems.
Yep.
Yeah. The Utah Jazz were without Rick Rubio and Dante Exum for tonight's Game 5 against the Rockets. The Jazz made the announcement yesterday. Exum was injured in Sunday's game in the third quarter as the Jazz lost to the Rockets. Both players were dealing with hamstring injuries. Rubio has not played since he injured his left hamstring in Game 6 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, now that season is all over with, so now it doesn't matter. Celtics guard Shane Larkin exited Game 4 last night against the Sixers with an injured left shoulder. Larkin ran off the court clutching his shoulder after running into Joel Embiid in the first half. The Celtics list him as questionable for Game 5. However, Celtics coach Brad Stevens said after the game, Larkin was not able to return. So it's kind of questionable indeed. I don't know if he's even going to make it. Capitals center Nicholas Backstrom did not play in Game 6 last night against the Pens due to an upper body injury, and is listed though as day-to-day. At this point, it is too early to tell if he will be ready for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Tampa Bay, and that is now considered to be on Friday. He left in the third period of Game 5 with injury. Lars Eller took over his spot.
Well, no Backstrom, no problem in Game 6, I guess.
Right. Predators signed Czech Republic defenseman Filip Pachura to a 2-year entry-level contract. He has spent the last 2 seasons with the Czech Republic team. It's not known, though, how much it is worth. And World Hockey Championships, the U.S. blanked Germany 3-0. Russia blanked Belarus 6-0. Patrick Kane for the U.S. scored a goal and 2 assists for the U.S. team, and Keith Kincaid stopped all 24 shots. Very nice. considering that they're not in the NHL playoffs, I guess they had somewhere to go. Well, that's good. All right, now for that story involving hockey here, and it involves the Devils. Oh boy, my girlfriend is not going to like this at all. New Jersey Devil star Tenore Hall, goalie Corey Schneider, and winger Patrick Maroon each underwent off-season surgery recently. Hall had a torn ligament in his left hand, repaired on April 30th. The team said he suffered the injury in December, but played through it, and he is expected to be ready for training camp in September. In other words, he played through the pain. Continuing on, Schneider underwent surgery to repair torn cartilage in his left hip just last week. His recovery time is estimated at 5 months, which puts his availability for camp in doubt. Yeah, I would think so. The timing will just be coming up short. Maroon had surgery on May 2nd on a herniated disc in his back. He is expected to be ready for camp. Hall had an all-star season with a career high of 39 goals and 54 assists in just his second season with the Devils. He led the Devils to the playoffs for the first time since 2011-2012. Maroon was acquired at the trade deadline to give the Devils a boost heading into the playoffs, but he had one goal as the Devils lost to the Lightning in 5 games. He is a pending unrestricted free agent. Schneider had been the Devils' main backstop for years, but he struggled this season with injuries and posted a .907 save percentage. Keith Kincaid, who was playing for Team USA in the World Championships, took the bulk of the stats of the starts down the stretch. Kincaid started games 1 and 2 against the Lightning, but Schneider took over in Game 2 and finished the series posting a 1.78 goals against average and a .950 save percentage. All right. Sorry to say that for the Devils, but at least it can't be all that bad. They might be ready for training camp. So that's good news there. Ooh, I just found something else too about Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton tested the free agent market last summer before ending up back in San Jose on just a 1-year, $8 million deal. If Thornton has his way this offseason, he will sign with the Sharks again instead of hitting the open market, even if it has to be on another short-term deal. Going through that again. Everyone wants to go through a short-term deal. It's no secret I'm a Shark, Thornton said yesterday. I bleed teal and I want to come back. I know I'm going to be healthy when I do come back. I'm sure we can figure something out. And I do want to come back. Thornton spoke as the Sharks packed up for the summer, following a second-round playoff loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Thornton missed that series with a right knee injury that sidelined him since January 23rd, but he expects to be fully recovered by next season. Maybe, but he's getting up there in age now, hockey years, so that's kind of hard to tell. Case in point, Thornton is turning 39 in July, but he was still performing at a high level before tearing his ACL and MCL in his right knee back in January. Thornton had a similar injury to his left knee late last season and played 4 playoff games before off-season surgery, but he wasn't able to make it back this year. I don't think there's a player I've met in 40 years in this business I respect more than Joe Thornton. That's said by General Manager Doug Wilson. He's incredible. I look forward to sitting down with Joe and his agent very quickly. He is an inspiring man. What he's done to this organization, he was playing really well prior to getting hurt. And even his leadership after being around the guys, and what he does, he is a very special guy. Thornton is willing to sign a one-year deal again, and will be willing to take less money if helped the team acquired other players. Well, we'll see. Thornton started slowly this season. He worked his way back from an April 2017 surgery, but he was back to his usual form by late November. He had 11 goals and 15 assists in his final 28 games before the injury. Thornton has been a leader ever since arriving in San Jose in 2005, and is the greatest player in the team's history. He ranks 12th in NHL history with 1,030 assists, 16th with 1,427 points with 7 more games. Thornton will become the 19th player to reach the 1,500 game mark for a career. And, I didn't think much of Thornton at first when he came in, but he has proven to be, one of the greats of the game. You certainly had me fooled, man. All right, so let's check the scores before I hand it back over. These are the late scores. And you read down the list like this. These are games now that, of course, are appearing on the West Coast. And we read like this. The Pirates are leading the White Sox now 10-6 in the bottom of the ninth. 2 out, nobody on. Squales is pitching, and Garcia is at bat. Astros lead the Athletics 4-2. 1 out, nobody on. Trevino is pitching, and Springer is at bat. The D-backs are leading the Dodgers now 5-4. 1 out, and nobody on. Hudson is pitching, and Godley is batting. The Nationals leading the Padres 3-0 in the top of the 8th. Richard is pitching, and Turner is batting. And I believe that's it. Okay, and right now the Warriors are leading the Pelicans 78-60 with 6:49 to go in the third quarter. All right, my notes are complete. I'll hand it back over to you.
Yeah, it's going to be the Warriors and Rockets in the Western Conference Finals this year. Yep, I can hardly wait for it personally. So that's the post game for Tuesday, May 8, 2018. So before we sign off, we want to share this. We want everyone to share this entire podcast on Spreaker, because we want to tell them that the Michigan Sports Truth podcast is searching for a wider local audience that is fans of sports and our teams. So please spread the word about the Michigan Sports Truth podcast on Spreaker, its book page, and its Twitter handle at Michigan_Truth. For Louis Tenore, I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Like and share the Michigan Sports Truth Facebook page. And follow it on Twitter at Michigan_Truth. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Bon appetit.
Bye, folks.
Bon appetit.